I'm Darin Anderson. I'm the lead pastor of Oakwood Church in Tampa, Florida.
And I'm Greg Dowdy. I'm one of the founding band members of Casey Road.
And we just like to share a little of the background and story and heart behind the song Masterpiece. So 3 years ago, I think it was 2019, the school year of 2019, Greg and I were in a small group together where we were processing with 5 other couples some of the challenges that our kids were going through, especially the grown ones. There was some in the group that was represented substance abuse, real serious health challenges, and kind of the whole spectrum of what people were going through. And so it was a beautiful time of community to pray for each other, share with each other, and that's really out of that is where this song Masterpiece came.
Yeah, it was a great group. It was good to be a part of a Christian community with other believers who are going through the same things that you do. When you have that adult child who is struggling, it's easy to feel like you're by yourself. So it was really good to be able to make that connection with other parents who were going through some of the same things.
So in the context of that group, I just remember a time, I think I was driving, that Ephesians 2:10 came to my mind. We are his workmanship created in Christ Jesus, and just feeling that truth, that word workmanship means masterpiece. And just praying for these other couples and praying for the kids and just what the different ones were going through, just feeling that sense of God's fatherly heart to communicate. And I'm thinking about, one of my boys in particular, but then thinking about all these other kids that we're praying for, and hearing the voice of God say over them, "You are my masterpiece." And just, I think that was the phrase that started it, was my love for you will never cease. You are my masterpiece. And from that, just reflecting on Ephesians 2 came the rest of the lyrics, and I just kind of wrote them out over the course of really just a few days. And then at church we have this creative team that had been working on some songs, so I just remember sending it to Megan and saying, I don't know what would come of this, but I'll just throw it to you and you guys do with it what you will.
Yeah, when we got that, I'm on that creative team as well. When we got that, it was great to be able to look at that and really see the idea of identity and a correct identity. Because we're all trying to define ourselves in some way. And to be able to see that this is how God sees us. Our Father says, "You are my masterpiece." So it was really eye-opening for me. It was super encouraging. And so I kind of took the ball on that one and ran with it. The music actually was a previously unreleased song that I had from several years ago. So I had never recorded it. I had finished it but never recorded it. So I ditched the words that I had, which were nowhere near as good as the words that you had put together, and kind of crafted it into that song that we have now, along with the rest of the music team. So yeah, it was great. It was great to be able to take something new and then mix it right on in with something that was older and more familiar, at least to me, and be able to put it together in a way that God just blessed.
And I'm not musical at all. The rest of my family is, ironically, quite gifted with music, but I'm not at all. But as I was originally writing it, I did sing certain parts of it,
right.
And just trying to, and I remember when the first versions came back and I'm hearing it, I was like, that's beautiful, I'm right with it, except for the chorus. There was a part that I had done kind of my own way with more of a, "You are my masterpiece." And that was the one part I was hung up on, like, guys, you're doing it wrong. And they were trying to explain to me, no, Darin, there's this thing called time signatures and beats per measure and these things. Like, I don't understand that. Don't bother me with the facts. Like, but yeah, over time it grew on me the way it all came together. And I think at some point the team added an additional line that I didn't have, that has become one of my favorite lines in the song. My love for you is endless, unconditional, relentless. That was apparently needed for the timing of it or something.
Actually, to make to make the timing work, we needed one more line. So we kicked around several different ideas and eventually landed on that one, and it just kind of clicks, and it certainly works with the song thematically, and it also worked with the rest of the way that the song was put together. So yeah, it was good.
And what we've seen since then, and since just using the song in church, singing it and sharing it in different venues, is that the Lord has really used it to speak to the hearts of people.
Yeah, it's been really neat to see the way that God has taken what we put together with His blessing and then used it out there in the world to help people who need to hear His message. So it's actually been very encouraging.
And one of the main things I wanted the church family to feel is that, I don't know, the bridge or whatever comes, the every crack and jagged line makes my light and glory shine, like that. I will bring you to perfection, like just feeling that we are the masterpiece of God. Like He sings that over us as His children, just like we do as parents.
Right.
With our own children, we're like, there's no mistake here, you know?
Right.
I am fully delighted. My love for you will never change. But at the same time, you're a work in progress.
Right.
And I'm committed to bringing you, I'm going to finish this work that I started in you. And even the cracks, even the brokenness is that jar of clay piece where like the glory of God really does shine through our brokenness. And I know we've seen that with our kids as we're continuing to pray for them and walk through life together. And we're certainly seeing that in our church family.
So that's kind of the story of Masterpiece, where it came from, how we kind of put it together, and the heart behind it. We really hope that it blesses you as much as it blessed us when we were able to put it together, and that it continues to go out into the world and bear fruit.